A partnership between the Harford County Sheriff's Office and Chris Hansen led to 9 arrests, and those efforts are set to be featured on Hansen's show called Takedown. Fox 45's Vincent Hill sat down with Chris Hansen to discuss the operations and how parents can be on the lookout for child predators.
If you're thinking about being a child predator in Harford County, you may want to think again.
Chris, we are ready. Thank you so much for joining us.
Chris Hansen may be waiting around the corner. Hansen speaking exclusively to Fox 45 about an upcoming episode of his show, Takedown, that went after child predators in Harford County.
Well, I think, as in many of these investigations, Vincent, we see people from all walks of life.
People have this mental picture of what a predator looks like, but what does a predator look like?
Well, a predator can look like anybody in our community, Vincent. We had a guy show up in this sting who was in his early 40s. He had a secret government clearance. You could be standing next to him at a grocery store on a Saturday morning. You don't know. Now, yes, we have guys walk into these investigations who, are rangy-looking characters. Here we had a guy who was 72 years old, who had a granddaughter who was older than the child he was coming to see. There was no mistake in his mind as to his activity being criminal. He had taken his ED medication. He had stopped for alcohol. You watch him on camera gulp, some of the beer down when I walk out to confront him.
Why do you think that these guys, knowing that you could be on the other end or law enforcement could be on the other end of this computer, this keyboard, why do you think they're still willing to do what they're doing?
Look, I look at this like, an addiction, right? You talk about the fentanyl issue. Well, people risk fentanyl being in their heroin because they need the heroin. So they block that danger out. People know that it could be the Harford County Sheriff's Office or me and my crew, but they need the fix. They need this sexual exploitation of a child.
We've seen the family kind of go to, everyone's at the table, they're on their devices, no one's watching what's going on. So what would you say to those parents?
I think you have to have time where there are no screens around. The technology has made it easier for predators to find kids. There are more platforms than ever before. And I think the odds are that they're not going to get caught. How does the criminal contact the victim? And in today's world, this is how they do it. And it's as simple as the device that the child carries in their pocket or their purse or their backpack. Parents are the first line of defense. And it's so critical to tell your kids that if something does happen online, if they're approached in an uncomfortable, creepy way, that they can come to the parents and say, look, this happened.
All right, Chris, we'll leave it right there.
I'm Kai Jackson. Thank you for watching. Here's another video to watch. Also, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel.